Last to open, first to close, the station at Waterloo Road is where Stoke's miners, pottery workers and local residents moved themselves. Here we're looking at the well-preserved pottery oven and museum in Hanley's Dudson centre. 1 mile long between Hanley and Burslem, Vale Place on this road was the local community where the station was situated. Vale Place even boasted a brewery in the 19th century. Today, just the name of the bus stop retains the name. Stations on the Loop Line were built by demand, a railway built by Stoke for Stoke. No grand entrance, just a platform and a purpose. This was a railway threading through industry. An industry with a great story that I shall tell in this clip. As industry died, the station was erased. Trams, buses and changing travel patterns slowly made its stop irrelevant. This is the enthralling story of the station and Loop Line track to Hanley that has been completely forgotten. We start at the 1980s memorial sign looking towards Hanley, where the platforms will have been laid out. The Loop Line here is referred to as the Etruria Loop Line. The green information plaque refers to Forest Park. Forest Park starts at the other side of the road, where the modern maps and walk sign refer to Cobridge and Central Forest Park. Forest Park is the site of the former Boothen Colliery, where mining commenced in 1850. In 1905, the main shaft was extended significantly to 982 metres and it earned a new identity, Deep Pit. Almost 1 kilometre deep, this was exceptionally deep for the North Staffordshire coalfield or indeed any coalfield. The deepest pit at Chatley Whitfield, for comparison, was only 600 metres. This pit and the extraction of marl clay for the adjacent brickworks desolated this area. The creation of the park was seen as a very significant achievement by the council in the 1980s. Today's path towards Cobridge still does not fully represent a twin-track railway in a deep cutting. Up ahead, where you can see 3 paths meeting, was a second single-track line called the Mineral Line. This line took coal from Hanley Deep Pit to the coking ovens at Shelton Iron and Steelworks. You can also see the first site of Century Oils that started in Cobridge. We are returning to Waterloo Road Station that opened at the turn of the century, 25 years after all other stations. The line would have been at least 15 feet lower as the height of the road has not changed. It is early on a Saturday morning and it's quite a pleasant walk towards Hanley. There has been some debate as to whether this was in fact the Mineral Line, but this map shows them to be a good 50 metres apart. On the left you can see a 19th century wall. It tells us that we are approaching railway sidings that existed independently of the platform for passenger trains. This map is 9 years later. Development has spread along Waterloo Road, including the building of the Railway Tavern, next to the railway but still no station. Railway sidings for coal wharves have been built on the old brickfields. Passenger trains on all the Loop Line ceased in 1964. Yet the line stayed open for Century Oils, who regularly moved their oil, grease, paraffin and tar derivatives in goods wagons. Here are still images from a 1960s film. Century Oils were one of the last reasons the line remained operational. This land on the left was owned by Century Oils. It was sold for development. It now houses some of the worst of humanity, drug taking and rough sleeping. And I've seen films on YouTube that do not make for happy watching. I have masked the faces of the unfortunates that find themselves in this situation. This is not interesting for me. I am interested to understand where was the railway cutting so that we stay on track for this historical line. If you are enjoying this early morning walk, don't forget to give me a like so that more people get to watch this video. We still have to come, I can promise you, some amazing spaces never filmed before. Here is a 1980s street gate that has seen better days. It looks like a coal mine's winding gear in the middle. The Etruria Loop Line. We are now on Chelwood Street, formerly Alfred Street, so the line would be to the left of the wall or even on the top of the wall. As we are approaching the street crossing of Brook Street, now Century Street. Here is an aerial view of Brook, now Century Street, and its bridge from the 1920s, and the 1898 map showing Alfred Street. At the top of the images on the junction of Clarence Street and York Street is the Clarence Street Works that once belonged to my family. This is Century Street today and a print of the Brook Street Bridge, thought to show the 1890s. It's a well-known image of Hanley's smoking bottle ovens. The bridge abutment still exists on this side of the road to the left of the modern red bricks. At a height of over 46 feet or 14 metres, it was the largest of all bridges on the Potteries Loop Line. In the 1950s, Stoke-on-Trent found itself with 4 Brook Streets. This street was renamed Century Street after Century Oils that owned the land on both sides of what you can see here. After a hostile bid by BP in 1977 failed, Century Oils was taken over by the German multinational Fuchs in 1991. This is an entrance to the Fuchs site that is not used today, but it is the route we must follow of the Loop Line. One last look at the Brook Street Bridge in all its glory before we explore a little further. By kind invitation of Richard Rogers, the UK CEO of Fuchs Lubricants, we have managed to breach the perimeter.
Right, Richard, lead on. Where are we going to walk to? What can you show us on film?
We can walk what we believe is the loop of the old line.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are walking alongside the new manufacturing buildings that
Yes.
are now built on this site. So this building here, for instance, is responsible for making wire rope lubricants. So these would be the inner core lubricants of fishing ropes, mining ropes, any of those that would be done for construction type work as well. So the loop, we believe, would bring us round through the centre of the factory.
Are we okay to walk here?
Yeah, we're okay. We're walking. So yeah, we believe the loop would take us now through the centre of the factory and then finish in the top corner of our site.
Come all the way from Germany by the looks of things.
Yeah, I mean, we have raw material sourcing for our products comes from multiple locations. So the building on the right is the production facility, which underneath will be the Lady Well.
The history of the Cobridge Oil Works, founded by the Walker brothers, which became Century Oil, is the retorting or distillation of shale oil from coal mines with ironstone seams. There is an iron ore mine known as Lady's Well underneath this manufacturing plant.
This whole site would have been the iron and steel works overall, from the...
Yeah.
On the far side of the site down Etruria Road is the Century Retail Park.
Just very basic question in terms of your oil, your tanks. Are they the sort of tanks that you can put different oils in, or are they quite specialised?
These old road tankers that you can see here are obviously not roadworthy anymore. They're used for storage of materials now.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, we will always try not to mix different oil types for fear of contamination. There's a lot of incompatibility between different material types.
Yeah.
Larger building, which is our raw materials warehouse, you can see was commissioned in 2022. So AGV vehicles that then supplies the site.
We are approaching where the platforms of Hanley Station will have been sited.
How is the business? We have 3,500 photovoltaic panels on the roofs also to try and capture the sunlight. That gives around 15% of our energy usage on site.
Okay.
Water capture again, 1.8 million litres a year, all trying to the sustainability. Now we are, unfortunately, the overgrown area here, but from our understanding, this is just behind here. You can see the Quality Hotel, which is the one constant building that we have in all the photographic evidence of it. And alongside here is what we would believe was the Loop Line road.
Okay.
So there are.
So your boundary is just a couple of metres into that
obviously
undergrowth.
The fencing is ours, but the wall has been there for a long time.
And we think it's curved because the whole station was curved. that's the Quality Hotel, which
Yeah.
I think at the moment houses asylum seekers, it might.
It's correct, yes.
Can I climb up
Yeah,
that
you can
bank?
go there if you need to, yeah.
Well, if I can get a shot without straining myself.
I am looking at a 19th century boundary wall where the booking and parcels office will have stood.
So I think this brick wall is curved as part of the wall, having seen the other side of it, so it literally it does loop around slightly.
We are now on the other side of the same wall in the car park of the hotel, which is now part of the Best Western group. We are following the remarkably sharp curve of Hanley Station and its platforms. The cutting built for the tracks and station buildings has been filled in. It was at least 3 to 4 metres lower than the current level. This is evidenced by only the very top of the black brick arches being visible today. As we approach Trinity Street, we can see the would-be continuation of the curve, except that this is now all under the new Tesco in Hanley, which was opened in 2010. This brings this heritage walk from Waterloo Road to an end. There are 3 more videos continuing the route of the historic Potteries Loop Line. Watch this video next to follow the route through Tesco's onto Etruria Road. Thanks for watching.